Hey guys, it's Maurice, and I'm back with another video on the Glorify the Good channel. And today, we're going to discuss why discipline is an act of self-love. And I got some notes in front of me, so bear with me. But I think you guys are going to really like what I'll discuss here today. And hopefully, you'll take this information to heart and take action and make changes if necessary to become the best version of yourself. So, I just want to start off by saying that the world tells us that self-love is an act of indulgence. So, the glorification of vices such as drugs, alcohol, partying, even sex and overspending. A lot of these things are great to do, right? In moderation. But society tells us that the constant engaging in these types of behaviors is what's going to bring us joy and happiness. But engaging in these behaviors just brings nothing but destruction, especially when done in excess. I think we all know that drugs and alcohol are bad inherently, so I won't even discuss that. But I'll just discuss, overspending, for example. It leads to this never-ending cycle of wanting to spend, right? Why do we spend? To enjoy experiences, right? If you overspend and you constantly are, charging something to your credit card, you're not going to be able to have financial freedom to do things that you enjoy. So by spending, you're thinking that you're getting enjoyment out of it, but you're just diminishing your options in the future by overspending uncontrollably, right? If you have the money to afford it, go crazy and do your thing, but for the average person, that's not the case. So we have to be mindful about these things that we're doing. Actual self-love is committing to your highest purpose and doing those difficult things, right? Waking up early to, go to the gym, making your meals instead of ordering takeout, pursuing strong romantic relationships that are, built on actual feelings and not superficiality, things like that. Discipline is love because it prioritizes your future self. So society tells us to do what's good in the moment, right? Live your best life. But our emotions are fleeting. We're fickle as human beings. We change with the weather. It's snowing right now. Let's say that you had the goal to go to the gym, right? Would you see the snow and just turn back around and head back home? A lot of you probably would, but I know a lot of you would also say, hey, you know what? I'm still gonna go to the gym because I know I'm gonna end up better for it in the long run. So we can't just become slaves to our feelings and our emotions, because that's just gonna lead to regret, right? Say that we overeat. Obviously, you're gonna feel like crap just by definition of overeating, but then that might lead to emotional issues, right? Because you overate, you're like, oh man, that ice cream was calling my name, and I know I'm trying to lose weight for the summer, but I just couldn't, I couldn't shake the feeling. I just had to do it, right? Those are tough decisions to fight your feelings, right? And to go against what is almost low-hanging fruit and what seems like the easy decision to make. But like I said, you'll become better for it in the long run. So I mentioned earlier, discipline creates freedom. Working out leads to a stronger body and fewer health issues. Waking up early gives you more time to build skills, and saving money provides you with more options in life. So we want to keep avoiding engaging in destructive habits, right? The junk food, laziness, toxic relationships, you name it. it just helps us to stay strong in a weak society. And now, I hate to even compare ourselves to other people, but it's real. Influence, the power of influence is really real. We look at social media, there are people, that is their literal job title, to influence you, to program, us as social beings into doing things that they're getting paid to do, right? We've got to turn the tide on that and flip the script and influence us to do good behaviors, things that are going to edify us in the long run, right? So I just want to point to a quick Bible verse, Hebrews chapter 12, verse 11. No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but later it produces a harvest of righteousness. That's such a beautiful verse, and it speaks for itself, right? A harvest of righteousness. That's just such a great reward to know that your efforts won't be in vain. When you're taking the hard route, you're gonna end up with great rewards for it, right? I remember there's another quote that says, would you rather live with the pain of discipline or the pain of regret? So think about that quote and that verse. Keeping on the aspects of faith, if you're a person of faith, God calls us to steward our gifts, our bodies, and our minds. So being disciplined is choosing faith over feelings, like that harvest. Choosing the hard decisions because you believe that they will lead to outcomes that are beneficial to you. So it sucks to wake up in the morning and go to the gym at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. But when you do it, you have such great momentum that you're carrying into the work day or the school day, whatever the case might be. And then you're going to get health benefits as well. So body and mind, by doing the hard things. Why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you choose to do that? For me, it's become, for me, it's self-explanatory. It's almost become second nature at this point. Just to get vulnerable for a little bit. I'm on a 70-day journey of abstaining from toxic behaviors that I know are detrimental to me as a person and detrimental to my progress and my growth. So, making that tough choice, it was awful that first day, that first week, agonizing pain. But now I can sit here 70 days later with a big smile on my face and the certainty to know that I have reaped benefits for it. My mind has never been clearer. I've never been this physically strong. And I'm not even close to where I want to go, but I know I'm on my way there. So I just want to encourage you guys to stick to discipline, choose discipline over feelings, because man, you don't even know your potential. And I feel like I can say, at least for me, I was selling myself short for years by avoiding this hard work, which was hard at first, because when you're doing something like this, when you're choosing discipline, it's going against the grain of society and what society says, right? You'll make a change in your life. People might say, oh, you're acting funny. Oh, you're moving different. No, I'm being intentional about how I'm spending my time. And I know that where I was, I didn't like that person. So I'm trying to make a change for me. Because at the end of the day, I only have myself to answer to. A lot of the times when people are on their hospital beds, it's because of, decisions that they made when they were younger. Now, I know a lot of health outcomes are completely out of people's control, right? Cancer, for example, that's the first thing that comes to mind, but, genetic things as well, possibly. But we have so much influence on our health and we don't even know it. If you're somebody who smokes 2 packs of cigarettes a day, are you going to be surprised if you somehow get lung cancer one day? You shouldn't be, because you knew what you were doing. So You got to take accountability for your actions and take accountability for the people that you choose to surround yourself with. If you know that you're trying to avoid drinking and a friend tells you, hey man, let's go to the bar, and you choose to go to the bar a couple times a week, every day, whatever the case might be, why would you even set yourself up to fail? You're tempting fate by showing up every day. Yeah, you can possibly go to the bar and, sip a little, like a ginger beer or something, or some water, but it's like, why would you even put yourself in that environment? Set a boundary. Tell your friends, hey, I'm trying to make some changes in my life, so I'm going to be avoiding the bars for a little while. Or, hey, you can flip the script. Hey man, I'm trying to focus on my health. You trying to come to the gym with me? Get in a workout? Things like that, man. So how can we start taking action, right? Thought I had a water bottle down here, but make small changes, right? If you're somebody who drinks soda, or if you're somebody who drinks a lot of juice, right? Try to cut back a little bit. That stuff is just not good for you. The artificial sweeteners in there are just terrible for your health, not just physically, but mentally as well. Try to transition to maybe a low-calorie sweetener. I can't even think of any, but I use, I couldn't tell you the name of it, but it's something from Aldi, right? It's like a little, similar to like Mio, or Crystal Light, something like that. I think Crystal Light might have some red flags. Do your research on that. I can't really speak on that too much. I really don't drink all that stuff anymore, but I do use that sweetener, some powder from Aldi from time to time. I like throw it in my smoothies to get a little bit of extra, electrolytes after the gym. Yeah, man. So have accountability. Make small changes. Build small wins. You can stack your habits over time. So let's say, for example, it's the start of the new year, and you want to tap into the hype of dry January, which is when a lot of people choose to abstain from alcohol. You can spend January not drinking alcohol, right? Maybe you might commit to going to the gym, right? Because you just don't want to avoid doing something. You want to try to replace it with something else, because that's just how we're wired as human beings. If you maybe stop one toxic habit, you might look into another toxic habit. So you might want to just find something positive to replace that habit. So let's say after January, you might, and if you're somebody who smokes cigarettes, right? Let's say you carry that momentum from January, and now in February, you're no longer drinking alcohol, and then you also make the decision to stop smoking cigarettes. And then when March comes, I'm going to commit to walking outside every day because the weather is a little bit nicer. Things like that. You want to set yourself up to win and make things easy for yourself, make things manageable. You don't just want to try to do a bunch of things at once, because then that's a complete shift from who you were previously. You want to ease into the change, slowly ease into the change. So I'll just leave you guys with this. Commit to one act of self-discipline today, and then when you're making these decisions, when you're living your life, when you're interacting with people, when you're doing whatever, just think of this. You can love yourself in the moment and, be a slave to your feelings, or you can love yourself for a lifetime and choose to become the greatest version of yourself.